What is up, everybody? So sorry about the delay and all of the little issues that are going on right now. Yeah, so what I need to figure out, I really wish YouTube had a system where you could just leave like a little message on the top of your little YouTube channel, like just a quick little message. Chris Gold says, is this a Magic Leap special? If so called, catch you guys tomorrow when it is tomorrow. Yeah, no, this is not a Magic Leap special. I am going to talk a little bit about Magic Leap. I was watching LeapCon most of this morning, and I missed a lot of it, but I saw like the Star Wars thing. I saw the Dr. Grordborts thing. I saw the Phenomena thing. I saw the Insomniac Games thing, and not a lot of excitement, to be completely honest with you. I didn't really see, I mean, I saw some cool stuff, and if you had a Magic Leap 1, there's definitely some cool stuff that's going on, but there was not a lot of hype there. Although the Dr. Grordborts trailer, we did get a full-length trailer for Dr. Grordborts. That actually hit yesterday. It hit a little bit later in the day, and I thought that was impressive. I actually thought the full Dr. Grordborts trailer was pretty darn impressive, and so I'll talk about that a little bit, but no, this is not like going to be a 100% Magic Leap show, so I definitely don't want to say that. My apologies, because basically, I thought the Magic Leap thing was going to be, I thought it was going to be 2 hours. I thought it was going to be over with by the time this show started, so I didn't really think it was a big deal. But I thought that it would be cool if on my YouTube channel, like, you could just leave a quick little message that says, hey, the show's probably going to be at 11:30, you know, instead of 11. That would have been nice. And I was delayed even further. I actually made myself an Eggo. I'm going to eat an Eggo because I am freaking starving. My stomach is growling. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so let's see here. What can we get into right away at the start? Well, actually, since I am going to try to eat my Eggo real quick, why don't we go ahead and check out the Dr. Grordborts trailer? We can check out the full version. I think it's actually pretty cool. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick, and I can grab some of my Eggo here. So yeah, that is Dr. Grordbort's Invaders. It is available now. People are playing this. There is footage of this that is out there. In fact, I do have a clip that has like just some regular footage that somebody took in their own house. Some of that stuff is out there, and supposedly this is a 3 to 5 hour experience. So Dr. Grordbort's somewhere between 3 and 5 hours. And honestly, this is the best thing they got. This is absolutely the best thing they got. The Star Wars thing, based on what I've seen with the Star Wars thing, Not all that impressed, honestly, with Star Wars. Insomniac, it's called Seedling. They have this game called Seedling. Don't really know what's going on there. Not super impressed with that either. And Phenomena, you know, they have something that looks very similar to Luna. I played Luna in VR, and I didn't know Phenomena was like this big deal as a company, and I was not that impressed with Luna, but maybe the Magic Leap version would be quite cool. So, I mean, there's a number of things that were shown off at LeapCon, but overall, I thought it was relatively underwhelming. But Dr. Grordborts is pretty legit. I mean, it is pretty legit. And one of the things, I'm going to go ahead and switch now to a little montage that I made really quick that basically has images from this trailer where I just took some screenshots of some of the images in this trailer. And so here we can see a portal that is on the wall. You see something on the ceiling. You see this flying creature. You can see the special effects as you're shooting your photon beam at it. Here we can see something hurling through the air, some kind of energy blast that is being shot at you. Now this one, the guy is sticking his hand out and he's like using some kind of shield. This one I thought was one of the best. It showed a portal in the wall where you could see another world that was beyond that portal. And here is a full-size robot that is appearing in your living room, which I think is impressive as well. I think anybody, like, forget all the production that went into Dr. Grordbort's Invaders, the trailer. I know it becomes a movie at the end, and the last 25 seconds has nothing to do with Magic Leap. But just take a look at these images right here. These are supposedly like real, legitimate images. And as unimpressive as it may seem to you, just looking at these screenshots from this trailer, they might look unimpressive to you right here. But I got to imagine if I'm Noah and I'm in my own freaking house with a Magic Leap and he gets to see a full-size yellow robot like that in his own room and he gets to see a portal coming through the wall, like that would be freaking cool. I would really love to play this. Now it's 3 to 5 hours and this thing costs $2,300. It costs $2,300. BulletApe says, no way that's in game. Okay, well, why don't we take a look at actual footage that somebody captured? This is like a regular Joe Blow in their own house. Let's take a look at this. Okay, this is real legit footage right here. There's no debating that. Let's watch this for a second. I'm going to switch to a full screen. So this, of course, this is actual, real, legit footage right here. This is like somebody recorded this in their room. They got Dr. Grordborts yesterday. I think this footage ended up on eBay really late last night. Now, the big problem, though, is there's a lot of transparency. I mean, you can see through these objects, the portals in the walls, the guys that are climbing through. A lot of it is relatively see-through, and that is a bit disappointing. Of course, again, we have no idea. We're watching the two-dimensional version of this, and we're not watching this through a Magic Leap headset. And I think when you're watching it through a Magic Leap headset, I think it's a much more impressive experience overall. And if you're having this kind of an experience in your living room, this is the kind of thing, this is why Saudi Arabia invested $500 million or whatever in Magic Leap, because this kind of stuff is pretty impressive. I really feel like if you did see this in your living room, this would be a holy shit moment if you're playing this. I think you're going to be highly impressed with this. Now, the problem is Magic Leap kind of remains a non-starter right now at $2,300. And even though they're definitely spending money, they're getting all these companies, they're working with Phenomena to make a Luna-like experience. They're working with Insomniac. They're working with Epic Games. We didn't actually see, as far as I know, we didn't actually see any Epic Games products. Like I thought maybe Epic Games might have some kind of thing that would come out for Magic Leap. They were talking about Robo Recall for a second there. They were talking about how when they designed Robo Recall for VR and all of that, and I was at one point I was thinking, holy shit, are they going to have Robo Recall on Magic Leap? Are they going to somehow do that? But I don't think we got an announcement from Epic Games, so honestly, this is impressive to me. Like, this is very impressive. I personally believe if I had this in my own house and was experiencing this, I would be incredibly impressed by the visuals, the audio, the whole entire thing. I think it looks much, much better if you have a Magic Leap headset on and you're actually seeing this. So it's not really a lie, man. I mean, these people that are saying like they're not believing these images. Now, of course, in this montage right here where I'm taking images from their trailer, they're going to present it graphically in the best possible condition. And, you know, so these images look better than what we just saw on this guy's own home images. But you can see this is a darker room. And it's professionally captured in the best way possible, but these are kind of like the visuals that you're going to get in real time. I really think that looks super cool. Like, that is the image right there. That is the image of Dr. Grordborts that I think is cool. And these full-size robots. I think the full-size robots are pretty awesome as well. Tom Lloyd says the videos that clearly said all footage is from the device itself, lies, 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 because this might look impressive, but the virtual desktop setup, they showed the high-def alien war with squads, etc. Yeah, well, technology changes over time, Tom, so maybe when they were saying that, maybe that wasn't a lie. At a certain point, they had to miniaturize a lot of their technology and get it into something that you can put on your actual head. And so, you know, that's a part of it. So they had to miniaturize that. So they've changed. The technology has changed over time. I'm still relatively impressed, honestly, with Dr. Grordborts. I think a lot of people kind of throwing the baby out with the... I understand the hate on Magic Leap. And look, I'm not buying one of these things anytime soon. This could be priced right now. Magic Leap could be $999 and available at my local Best Buy. And I don't think I'm running out and buying one. And I have to ask myself, honestly, why is that? Why am I not running out and buying one if it's $1,000? Because that makes it a lot more affordable. And remember, it's got a computer inside of it. It's got its own technology running inside of it. So it's going to be relatively expensive any way you slice it. It's got the portability as well. But for me, what it is there's got to be a lot of super killer apps. And this is the only app it has right now that I think is one where I'm legitimately jealous of Magic Leap owners that have this. But at the same time, I'm watching this video right now, and one of the worries I have after just watching this for a couple of minutes, okay, you got portals opening in your ceiling. You got these flying aliens that are coming out. But one of the intrinsic problems with AR gaming, and I guess this is a problem with AR gaming that I didn't really think about, but you're going to kind of get sick of seeing your freaking living room. Aren't you going to get tired of seeing your living room? So I think AR gaming, honestly, where the future of AR gaming needs to go, other than having like simple puzzle games and card games and board games and things like that, But I think real deal AR gaming, what it's going to have to do is you're going to have a giant field of view, okay? And it's going to have to create a mesh over all of your walls and your couches and your chairs. And what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to texture map all of that stuff. And so your walls are going to have to be the inside of a freaking spaceship. Your windows are going to be windows of a spaceship. It's going to have to convert all of this shit. Otherwise, because aren't you eventually going to get bored? You're basically seeing the same robots coming into your room over and over again. Okay, some robots come from the ground, some come from the wall. I'm sure that if I played this today, if I was with Noah and I had a chance to play this today, I'm sure I'd be very impressed by it initially. I would have that honeymoon period, and I'd probably come on here and say, oh my God, dude, it's so amazing. You're seeing these flying robots. You guys don't understand. There's little smoke coming off of them. They're moving around, and the spatial audio. You guys don't get it, man. The spatial audio is so awesome. It's just so amazing to see this in your real environment. I'm sure I would say all that kind of stuff for a little while. But like 3 days later, are people that actually have Magic Leap 1s, are they going to kind of be bored out of their mind with Dr. Grordborts, or is it still going to be entertaining them several days later? I think the only way that this stuff is going to be entertaining for a long stretch of time is I think there's going to have to be things that come out of the walls that have a shield around them, and they talk to you, they conversate with you, and a story is played out. Because if all it is just flying robots, flying insect robots, super tall robots like this, and I'm sure they make occasional quips and stuff. Like, for example, I could probably listen to this audio. Let's see. Let's listen to the noise for a sec here. I mean, you get, I'm sure the spatial audio is cool. I don't hear a lot of talking. I'm sure the sound effects are impressive. But I think there needs to be a lot more story or something. I don't know. I could easily get bored after a while of just shooting these same robots. So, I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that. I mean, I'm still excited about Magic Leap. I'm not giving up on Magic Leap. Well, when should I give up on Magic Leap? I mean, I'm still kind of excited about Magic Leap, but damn, they've got a harsh road in front of them. They really have a harsh road in front of them because they need to sell a lot of these. Let's consider for a second, guys, the situation that Magic Leap is in. They're not in a very good spot right now, really, when you really get down to it, because they had so much money invested in them. They had to come out with a product. They knew they had to come out with a product, that they couldn't do this forever, and that they couldn't just keep acquiring money and keep talking about a future product, a future product, a future product. So they finally came out with a product, but they had to price it at $2,300. $2,300. Now, it's one thing, you might be able to sell a $2,300 product. Think about it. People want to buy the Star VR headset. If the Star VR headset was $300, there would be people that would buy it right here and now. A lot of people, maybe not huge mass numbers of people, but you can sell a product that is this expensive, but you gotta have a ton of content. You gotta have, I mean, think about it. What would drive you to buy a Magic Leap 1, even if it was $1,000? So we're talking 40% of what it is right now. If it was $1,000, what would Magic Leap need to have? Seriously, what would they need to have to make you throw a freaking $1,000 at it, and then possibly 30, 40, 50 bucks for each of these experiences? I think you would have to have like 20, maybe 30 different experiences that are just as good as Grordborts or better. because Grordborts is supposedly 3 to 5 hours. You would need to have like an NFL football game that was played on a tabletop where it looked like real little guys running. You would have to have some really incredible shit, and it would have to all be lined up. You would have to have all kinds of major properties all lined up. Like the Star Wars game, instead of being Project Porg or whatever the hell that Star Wars game is called, it would have to be a Star Wars war that is taking place on your living room carpet with your sofa and everything, like stormtroopers and rebel bases. I mean, it would have to be those old days when you were like a little kid and you were playing. Didn't anybody else do this? Okay, so I was a little kid back in the days of Star Wars, and I had little Star Wars guys, and I used to play on my carpet with a whole bunch of little Star Wars characters, and maybe some of my buddies from around the neighborhood. They would come over and we'd all play with our little Star Wars characters on the carpet, and we'd have huge battles and shit. And that's kind of what I thought, that's what Magic Leap is going to have to do. It's going to have a lot of those experiences, so it is just hammering you with so many proper experiences. Prince Alexander says, missed most of the show today. Not this show. This show just started at like 11:38. We're like way behind. I was watching the LeapCon, and I was also trying to prepare for a couple of little things, and I was just kind of slow getting going today. Every once in a while, you know what? When I switch to the new channel, I think I'm going to make 11:30 the new time. I think 11:30 is going to be the new time when we switch over to the new channel, but I'll wait for that because 11 o'clock seems to sneak up on me a little bit too quickly, so maybe 11:30 will be better, but then I'll be leaking into noon. It'll never end, so at some point we got to stick with the time. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what some people are talking about in chat. Jim Hall says, even if it had a ton of great apps, who's going to spend $2,300? I agree with this, Jim Hall. I agree with this. My question is, what if it was $999.99? What if they got it down to $999.99? How many killer apps would you need to go down this road? And then Tom Lloyd says, the show is about why you should get ODG R9 over Magic Leap. Yeah, we've heard about ODG. They're basically the key technology behind HoloLens. I think Microsoft actually contracted with ODG, and they pretty much are the real brains behind the HoloLens technology, or something like that. I know I've heard something like that. But yeah, there's comparisons to ODG R9. I cannot pronounce that name. But basically, the problem Magic Leap has is multifaceted, because most of the AR developers, most of the people that are getting involved with Magic Leap right now, they're not actually getting involved with Magic Leap for Magic Leap 1. What they're doing is they're making an investment into a potential AR future. An AR future that is absolutely unavoidable, an AR future that is going to come. It's simply a matter of when. And so a lot of companies, smart companies, they don't want to be caught with their pants down. And so 4 to 5 years from now, if we're in a major AR dominated future where a lot of humanity is wearing AR enabled smart glasses, it really starts to take over. Now, you know, we're talking probably 10 years or so at least, right? But a lot of these companies, they don't want to be let with their pants down. They want to get working on this stuff now. But the truth of the matter is most of these companies don't believe Magic Leap is going to be a legitimately viable marketplace for them. And I gotta wonder, how long can Magic Leap survive with all the money they have, with a product that is selling to such a fraction of people worldwide? When I had Noah on here and I was talking to Noah, I told Noah, I said, dude, Noah, you're one of like 3,000 people on planet Earth that have a Magic Leap 1. And maybe I'm stretching it. Maybe there's 5,000. Who knows? Maybe they've sold 5,000 of these things worldwide. I know they're not selling it worldwide, but maybe worldwide. People have somehow imported them. They've gotten their hands on them. Maybe 5,000 people worldwide have these things, but you need a much larger base of people. Who are you going to sell to? You know, who does Insomniac sell seedlings to? Who does Phenomena sell Luna Magic Leap to? Right now, all of these projects that are coming out, they're pretty much 100% funded by Magic Leap, because none of these companies are funding these projects to sell it to like 6,000 or 7,000 people. It's not viable. Even if all 6,000, 7,000, even if every single person that has their hands on a Magic Leap headset buys your little gamer app, you're still not going to pay for the development of that app. It's not going to be paid for. And so it's a problem, man. This is a real problem. I mean, I'm really curious to see ultimately how Magic Leap is going to continue to be a viable entity going into the future, because they got that classic problem, you know, the chicken or the egg. It's the classic problem. You're not going to get enough people to buy this until you have enough experiences. But it's going to cost so much money to create experiences, and it's hard to get people to make experiences when they feel there's not going to be enough people that's going to buy it. It's a real problem. I mean, Microsoft has the same issue with HoloLens. That's why Microsoft has never even pretended that HoloLens would be any kind of a consumer-facing product anytime in the near future, because they know the problem they're dealing with here. But at the same time, you want to get involved in this. Magic Leap, what they have to do is they have to navigate the really rough waters that are going on right now and try to survive long enough to that future where AR really is actually viable, which is way off into the future. Can they survive long enough and use all the lessons that they've learned in these early years to be the leader? Or are they going to be this company that kind of pioneered AR in a major way, but they were 3 years too early and they get trampled on by these other companies that then trample on them and then present a real mass market AR product, and Magic Leap ultimately is a failure? Who knows? This is why you got to make companies. This is why you got to do things. This is why you got to push boundaries. And Roni Abovitz doesn't give an F. He's going after his vision. He's trying to do what he can try to do. And so we're going to have to wait and see how this all happens. So anyway, let's see what some people are talking about in chat. Kevgret, didn't Magic Leap show some sort of TV watching interface, or is that something else? I did not see their entire LeapCon, so I don't know all this stuff that they've shown, but they did have a lot of super interesting things from a standpoint of, they're talking about going to different city centers, like going to downtown, and you go downtown and there would be some 5G enabled experience for your Magic Leap where you go down to City Hall and it looks like City Hall, but it looks like City Hall from Candyland or something, you know? It's basically the reskinning of your outer reality, which I really do believe in that. That is really going to happen in the future. We're going to live in a crazy-ass future. Any of those of us that are alive 20 years from now, 25 years from now, we're going to live in a batshit insane future where you're going to put on little AR goggles. This is Anthony the Futurist right here. You're going to put on AR goggles in the future that are going to be very thin. They're going to just be basically essentially sunglasses, and you're going to wear them everywhere. And if you are a hardcore Star Wars fan and you want to live in a Star Wars universe, number one, you didn't like what I was talking about at the end of the show yesterday, but number two, you're going to be able to reskin your entire outer reality with nothing but Star Wars shit, if that's what you really want. Or if it's Harry Potter, or if it's Pikachu, or whatever you're freaking into, you're going to be able to skin the outer world with that kind of skin. Think of it as a video game where they just put a different skin on everything to make it look like this world or that world. that is really what it's going to it's going to happen in like 25 years. It's a long time away though, man. I mean, get me in a time machine. How do I get 25 years into the future where I can walk outside and I see hovercrafts flying around? Now, they're really cars. They're not hovercrafts, but from my vantage point, they look like hovercrafts. I see shit flying around in the skies. I see gigantic whales that are just swimming in the bright blue sunny clouds. Maybe freaking giant mothership alien ships are flying around, and it's not really there, but I'm just augmenting my reality and making it just a little bit cooler. Maybe I'm driving my car to work. Of course, Anthony, you'll be sitting in a rocking chair in 25 years, pretty much. And I hope I am. I hope I am, really. And it'll be a badass rocking chair, man, with fucking turbo boosters and shit. But what I'm saying is you'll be driving your car, if you were driving, but no one's going to be driving in 25 years. But if you were driving your car, your little AR glasses, it's like, everything changes. So you're in an old ass 1975 Pinto that barely starts, but you're driving a freaking drop top Bentley, you know, or whatever, because you're changing the entire skin of outer reality. That's actually going to happen. Like, that is not science fiction. That is actually going to happen, but it is so far away that we might as well not even worry about it. Okay, please put something else on besides this trailer. Yeah, see, part of the time I forget about what's going on. I get caught up in some kind of dumb rant, and I go forever with the same old trailer. So let me go ahead and throw something else on. I'll throw on Furious Seas, the Furious Seas trailer. Quite a switch up here. Actually, you know what I do need to do is I need to go check. I have not checked any of the regular news today. Like, I don't know anything about like regular VR news today. Is there any regular VR news today? Doesn't seem like there's any. Looks like disaster report for PlayStation VR, disaster report, which is going to have some kind of PSVR mode. It was originally scheduled for October 25th in Japan. That has been delayed. That is coming on November 22nd. We still don't know if it will be coming to the USA. Of course, you could have like a Japanese account and probably buy it and play it if you wanted to. And that's pretty much it. I'm not really seeing much else in the news, but what I could do is, there's a new PSVR game announcement trailer for Rush VR. So I guess they're porting over Rush VR. Let me see if I can go ahead and grab that. I'll go ahead and see if I can grab that real quick. But yeah, not much other news going on. So, you know, we're covering a little bit of LeapCon. But yeah, they did have a lot of like wild talk about skinning different environments in your city and stuff like that. Stuff which I think is way off in the future. I'll go ahead and grab this Rush video real quick. We can check it out for PlayStation VR, but it's pretty much just a port. The game has already been on Oculus Rift for quite some time. It also came over to the HTC Vive, to Steam as well. I've never played Rush VR. Has anybody else played Rush VR? Not sure if it's all that good. I mean, I've heard some good things about it. I know when it did come to Oculus Rift, a lot of people raved about it. Yeah, it's kind of like Mount Wingsuit is what MainFan is saying here. Okay, let me go ahead and grab that trailer. That is called Rush VR announcement trailer. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. But yeah, not a ton of news here. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Rush VR announcement trailer. Let's check this out real quick.
Over 90 tracks to master. More huge environments to explore. Dominate the leaderboard. Challenge friends online. Experience the thrill. Rush, coming soon.
Alrighty, so that is Rush, and yeah, it's you know, it's basically the same game that we got on the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. I personally have not tried this out. I know some people like it, so that is Rush. I did just grab the trailer from Phenomena. I checked Phenomena, and they do have a trailer up for Luna Moondust Garden for the Magic Leap 1. So let me go ahead and grab this trailer. We can check this out real quick. I mean, look, I know you guys are mostly anti-Magic Leap, and that's bad. That's bad for Magic Leap, right? That so many of my fans, like so many people that watch this show, they like don't want to freaking see Magic Leap. They're sick of Magic Leap. They don't want to know anything about it, and that's a real problem for them. But I'm still mildly interested in how this whole thing shakes out. So let's go ahead and check this trailer out real quick. I think it's pretty short. So yeah, super short here. But I also checked out Insomniac to see if they had a new video, but I'm not seeing a new video for their Seedling thing. Seedling Magic Leap. But yeah, sometimes, okay, Insomniac Seedling AR announcement. Oh, they just have a quick little trailer that Upload VR made for it. Yeah, not much info here. Let's see if Magic Leap themselves have popped any additional videos into their channel. They might have some new stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty cool. I was not really into Luna. I was not a big fan of Luna. I actually might be more a fan of this than I was Luna in VR. Like this might be, this in an AR, like in an AR space, this might actually be more interesting to me. Now, you know, one of the things I do have a problem with though, when it comes to all of this AR stuff is, oh, something's really loud in my headphones. Okay. One of the problems I have with some of this AR stuff is how it's like shaking and vibrating. Like, it needs to be firm. It needs to be locked into the world. If I'm having an AR experience and something is shaking and vibrating, I mean, that kind of breaks the whole freaking thing, right? Like, you really need to lock it into the world. And this one, Crunchy says this video doesn't look so bad. He's talking about this Phenomena one. And yeah, I mean, it does seem like these things are locked into the world pretty good on this one, but just some of the stuff I've seen, like, especially when you just see the footage that somebody else has shot, like there's some wobbly shaking to it. And what is, you know, the wobbly shakiness, they gotta put that to bed. You know, if this is going to really be successful, like you got to look at it and it's got to look like it's firmly planted in your world. If it's wobbling and shaking around, I think that breaks the whole experience, right? So that is Luna's Magic Leap thing by Phenomena. And I'll go ahead and switch up to a different trailer now. But yeah, I thought there might have been some other trailers that might sneak out, but not really seeing anything else. So I'll just throw some rando trailer on. Okay, let's gotta resize this. This is Border Patrol. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to chat. Crunchy, did Magic Leap produce this? This actually looks realistic to how it would look. That was a trailer from Phenomena. And let me see, let me go back and see what the name of it was. Let me get back to it. It's called Luna Moondust Garden. It's called Luna Moondust Garden. And it's actually, you know, one of the surprising things is a lot of this stuff, a lot of people were saying their experiences are coming out this year. I think Luna Moondust Garden is actually coming out like December or something. So a lot of these things are actually coming out, because these companies have been working on this shit for years. Like supposedly Phenomena has been working with Magic Leap since like 2013. So they've been working on this stuff forever. And so a lot of these projects, they're in the wrap-up stages. They're finishing some of this stuff. Now, of course, a lot of these projects, though, they're going to be very short. They're going to be very brief. They're going to try to present some kind of gameplay thing, some kind of hook that'll capture you for a little while, but we're probably not going to get like super deep experiences with a lot of this Magic Leap stuff. And Angry Birds, I know there's a number of Angry Birds Magic Leap videos that are out there, some of which people have just taken their own footage of them playing Angry Birds within their own house. And let me see if I can find one of those. Yeah, here's one that somebody did. I'm going to grab this. It's only 44 seconds. But, you know, Angry Birds, I mean, if I had a Magic Leap one, if I was like Noah, oh, no, this is just a trailer, I think. I think that's just the Angry Birds trailer. I thought it was somebody in their own living room. But, yeah, if I had a Magic Leap one, I'd like to play Angry Birds. Sure, why not? I mean, who wouldn't? Let me see. Angry Birds Magic Leap. I'll filter it by today. So this was just... Somebody just put this up. But no, that's the commercial. That can't be. That's not somebody... People don't live in houses like that. People don't live in houses like that. That's the commercial. Okay, Kev Gret says, Angry Birds is on every device ever invented. Jim Hall says, Magic Leap Pong 2019. Yeah, so I know you guys are kind of sick of Magic Leap, but oh well, tough titty. But you know what we can do is let's go over to Upload VR. I'm going to go ahead and refresh Upload VR, and let's see what Upload VR has, because they have some people there at LeapCon. They're checking out some of this stuff more in depth. And so Magic Leap is going to release Avatar Chat, AR social app, this December. Hands-on Insomniac Seedling is a relaxing Magic Leap app about caring for a tiny tree. Yeah, apparently this isn't really a game. It's more of an experience. And then Project Porg is coming to Magic Leap, I believe, this December. So this is going to be out. So those of you that are really into Porgs, you're going to have something to work with this December. Magic Leap to let developers write AR apps in JavaScript with MagicScript. Magic Leap's roadmap includes 6 degree of freedom controllers and large scale mapping. See, I didn't get into this, so I don't know what their roadmap is for future hardware. Honestly, I missed a lot of the entire Leap conference. A lot of this stuff, like I missed a ton of it. So I'm going to have to actually watch the entire thing to try to, later on, I'll watch the entire thing to try to get a little more info about what they were talking about here. But you know, one of the things that I did see as far as Magic Leap, and one of the demos they had, it was some type of like, it was some type of experience where you're on a table and there were four people with Magic Leaps around a table, and it was like for an airlines or something. It was some type of like airlines thing, and oh man, 4 Magic Leaps. So you can put 4 Magic Leaps in. So 4 Magic Leaps in the same area, and they were talking about, are we going to give everybody a view from where they are, or are we going to give them a personalized view? And that stuff was actually pretty interesting, because I am excited about the idea of VR and AR and being in the same physical space with another human being. I think that's something we need to figure out. That's why I was harping on this so much with the Oculus Quest, that VR, we can't have VR be this thing where you're in your own little private room, you close your door, and it's just you in your private room. Because if that's what VR ultimately is, it's not going to go mainstream, man. It's got to include other people. And maybe AR is a little bit better for this because you're seeing the real world, but I don't think VR needs to give up on that either. And I want to see a future where 2 people are having the same VR experience within a 7-foot by 7-foot area, and they're both standing there. And I think the Oculus Quest can enable that, and at least the Magic Leap is actually showing this. The Magic Leap shows that you could have 4 people surrounding a table and you could play Magic Leap Risk. How freaking awesome would that be? You know, you're rolling your magic dice and you see all the countries battling each other with their tanks and airplanes and all of that. So that would be cool. So, I mean, they did show the ability to have 4 people at the same time. So that is slightly interesting. Let's see here. What else can we go to? We can go ahead and check over at Road to VR. See, everybody else is covering this Magic Leap stuff as well. I am not the only one out on an island here. If you go over to Road to VR, they're talking about Seedling, which is this new project that Insomniac Games announced, and this is launching in November. So again, this is another thing that is launching this year. So there's actually going to be some stuff that Magic Leap people can kind of screw around with a little bit. And then we're talking about Magic Leap to launch Avatar Chat next month. Okay, so I did not see any of the Avatar Chat stuff. So I must have been away from the computer at that point when that was happening. Did not see that, so I don't know anything about the Avatar Chat stuff. So Chris Gould says 4 Magic Leaps cost what? Nearly 10 grand. And let me tell you, Chris Gould, that was not lost on me at all. They showed a regular family with a mom and a dad and 2 really young kids, and they're all wearing Magic Leap ones, and they're all looking at this table, and I'm thinking to myself, what freaking family is going to have $10,000 worth of technology sitting on their foreheads? Very unlikely, incredibly unlikely. But I do like the fact that the ability is there and they're building it in right from the get-go. And like Oculus, they can make that excuse as well. Oculus can say, well, how likely are we to be in situations where 2 Quest owners are going to be in the same area, in the same living room and play together? How likely is that going to happen? But here's the thing. Build it in, make it there, encourage it, let it happen naturally. $399 for a Quest. You're going to know other people that have Quests. You can get together with someone else that has a Quest and you can have a shared local VR experience. And that's why I argue for that. A lot of people think, oh, that's the future. Maybe in the future. No, build it in now. Let's get this thing started now. So anyway, let's go to BulletApe. BulletApe says, I remember trying to play Connect in the same physical space as someone else. Even with that, you were bumping and hitting each other, and with Connect, you can see them. So he's saying it's going to be very difficult to share the same space with somebody, especially VR, with VR not having the kind of pass-through. You know, AR, you just look around at stuff. So it is easier for physical people to share the same physical space with AR headsets. And I will say this, that could be part of Oculus's hesitance from a standpoint of trying to champion multiplayer, champion local multiplayer. Part of their hesitance could be liability. It could be liability. And that could be part of the reason that Oculus is getting in. I should probably change this trailer. That could probably be the reason that Oculus is getting into their own location-based entertainment. Like Oculus themselves is getting into location-based entertainment. And one of the reasons they're doing it is because then they can make sure people are safe. They could have people watching everything, making sure people don't bump into each other. It's a safe, controlled environment where if they start offering regular local multiplayer experiences and people bump into each other, somebody seriously gets hurt, there's going to be an issue there. So yeah, it is an issue. It is an issue. But we did see with the Dead and Buried footage where they were having the arena scale mode in Dead and Buried. Obviously, if they're kind of running around together and doing that, you can see the other person's head, you can see their hands, and so they can do some inverse kinematics to some degree where you're not going to bump into somebody. And then we've also seen, there is a VR arcade, I can't remember the name of it now, but I believe it was started in Australia, where it's like a warehouse arcade where they have like 20 people just wandering around. And in that experience, I imagine they have to somehow track all the individual people so they don't smack into each other, right? And they probably steer them in different directions and stuff. I forget what the name of that arcade is called, but it's like this really advanced arcade. Somebody in chat will probably know what I'm talking about, where they get tons of people in a warehouse and they all have like backpack PCs and everything. You're going to have to figure out how to track these other humans so they don't collide with each other, but that is definitely going to be off into the future. VRium says full body tracking on the Quest is on the road, like down. No, it's not the Void. It's not the Void. It's something different. I forget what it's called, man. What is it called? Completely. I know it's Australia, and I know I'll look it up. It's like Australia VR warehouse. Australia VR warehouse experience or something. It's called, it has a name for it. Zero latency. Okay, zero latency. Yeah, there is this arcade thing called zero latency. Let me see if I could grab a YouTube video of zero latency, because then you guys can get an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, zero latency VR. And I think they're adding more of these zero latency places. Like they're adding them to more locations. Like I think it started in Australia, and then I think it's moved to other places as well. So this is like I'm trying to see if I can find a good example of it here. This is probably it's only 15 seconds. I'll grab this one. But yeah, eventually I think to go mainstream VR, AR, all of it, it cannot just be this isolated person in a room escaping everyone else, because ultimately that's not going to go mainstream, man. It's not going to go mainstream if it's limited to that. Now, I know a lot of us will have our little man caves, and that's what we're exactly going to do. We're going to go into our little man caves, and we're going to escape into our own private little worlds, and we're going to enjoy the hell out of that. But there's other people out there that they cannot be isolated like some of us can. There's other people out there that they need to be around other people in locations with other people right there. And so I think we have to solve this. We have to get past this. Okay, let's see. This is called the Ultimate VR Experience. Okay. Yeah, this is zero latency. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this. This is only 15 seconds, so we can run it a whole bunch of times. So here it is, zero latency, where they have all these. It's in a warehouse-sized location. But everybody has guns, everybody has backpack PCs, everybody's tracked, and they're in a similar place with other people. I'm assuming technically you could run into one of these other people if you weren't paying attention. I'm guessing it could be possible. But yeah, I look forward to a future where we are sharing spaces like that, and we're in VR, AR, or whatever it happens to be. I think that is a future that could possibly happen. All right, so let's go ahead and go over to the Vive subreddit. Let's see if we can find some news stories. Oh, you know what? There actually is a video here. I should have grabbed this video earlier. I forgot about it. I was watching the L.E.A.P conference, and there's a video where a number of the guys from Big Box VR, the developer of Population 1, they are talking about Population 1 and what the game is about, and it basically uses the trailer that they already have out there, and then it's kind of them talking about how the game is going to work out, and I thought it's actually pretty interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that trailer. We can check this out real quick in just a second. Hybrid Energy says, wouldn't it be ironic if zero latency's issue was too much latency when you went to try it? Yeah, that's pretty much what it's all about, right? And then, let's see, VRium says, I want phone owners see in AR mode what I'm doing in my Quest. And that's something Who did that recently? I think it was Alchemy Labs is showing off the ability where you could be on a phone and you can kind of see what people are doing in the VR game or whatever. Yeah, that's a great idea. That actually is a really good idea in relationship to the Oculus Quest and to the Oculus Go as well. We want people to be able to see what is in our headsets on little phones, and if they could actively move it around and see what we're seeing in our world, and maybe even see our head and our hands and the inverse kinematics, and they can move their phone like that, that would actually be a really good idea. Okay, so I want to go to this this Battle Royale Population 1 video. It's actually slightly interesting. We'll watch it for just a second. It's kind of long, so when it gets boring, we'll get off of it. But this is it right here.
I'm Julian here with Chachin and Gabe. We are going to talk about Population 1. Tell us about Population 1.
Well, at Big Box, we wanted to build something really, really beautiful that pushes the limit of VR. That's super, super fun. We built a battle royale game with climbing mechanics, so you can climb anything in the world, you can walk off the edge and fly anywhere. You can also build structures.
So we're living in a world where every game seems to have the Battle Royale like mode or something like that, but nobody's done Battle Royale in VR. Why did you guys decide to approach it that way?
Yeah, nobody's done it.
To do this is because Battle Royale is a
standout VR. Anybody?
Experience where you're under stress, under duress, you work with teammates, and VR is the ultimate experience for pushing the limits of graphics and immersion.
This is a game that is set on a 1 square kilometer map, right?
Correct.
How many people at a time in this Battle Royale?
We're going to ship with 24 people, free for all, or 2 big teams, 12 versus 12.
12 versus 12.
Mode as well. What are some of the challenges?
That looks good. Look at that. Ooh, that looks hella good.
One thing is making sure people are comfortable in VR, and a big part
I
of
guess there is some new footage.
And so using cards like
I'm gonna go ahead and full screen it for a sec.
Super smooth and super comfortable for people to play. Don't get motion sick.
Yeah, I actually got my hands on this game, and I was comfortable moving around. This is a game where you have a lot of movement options, right? How can you get around this world?
We have a motion mechanic called free motion. We called it free motion because we literally didn't want to limit you in VR. We wanted you to be able to walk anywhere, and anything that you can see, you can just grab and climb it. So when you were playing the game, you went out of my demo loop and started climbing a sign, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you said I could climb anything. I wanted to test that.
You delivered.
Like, I'm gonna climb this. So
here's a sign. Let's
climb it. Yeah, yeah. So you can climb, can fly, can glide anywhere, and that sense of freedom is only available in VR.
And then you guys actually put a lot of detail into how all the guns work and the gun mechanics. Do you want to talk about that at all?
We spent a lot of time trying to make the guns feel really interesting, so each gun has its own personality behind it. So it's like the P90, you have to push the clip in, pull the bolt back. Pistols and revolvers.
This does look really, really good, guys. I am legitimately hyped for this game, and this could be this could end up being the kind of game that would get my kids into VR and like hooked on VR. This could get my kids hooked on VR if they really like this, because they love this Minecraft building things. All they play is Fortnite, and the graphics are really good, and then the whole online factor, 12 versus 12 or a 24-person free-for-all. Like, I think this could be a really big game for VR gaming, and it's coming sometime in early 2019. I think we have a tentative date of April 2019 for this, but I don't think there's been any like real announcement. That's just kind of like at VR Game Rankings, we do kind of guesstimate on some of the dates to the best of our ability. But there is some new footage that was shown in this little video here, so kind of cool to see some of the new footage. You can climb everywhere. Like, that's new footage. I don't think I've ever seen that shot. So there is some nice new footage in here of this game, Population 1. This is one of the most wanted VR games that's out there, and I think after this video leaks out and everybody sees this video, this is probably going to rise even higher on the most wanted charts, because it really does look pretty awesome there. Andy Sky says Onward and Pavlov is in big trouble. Yeah, I mean, Population 1, this looks pretty freaking sensational. It really does.
That pushes the limit of VR. That's super, super fun. We built a battle royale game with climbing mechanics, so you can climb any.
Yeah, so it repeated there. So yeah, I don't think we got any more information, but like flying, climbing, building things, shooting things, and graphically looks freaking drop dead gorgeous. I'm wondering, how is this game really gonna run? Like, is it really gonna run well? But man, it looks really nice. All right, guys. Well, guess what? Job, would you believe Job has just arrived? The guy that does my lawns, he just arrived. And so I escaped all this time with no Job, but he's here now. We've been going for an hour. This has been a true shit show. This has not been one of those good shit shows. This has been kind of one of those crappy shows. Every once in a while, I'm going to have a crappy show. And today was kind of crappy, but you know what? We try to make the best of it. We still try to do what we can, and we move on, and we just do another show the next day. That's the beauty about it. I don't have to like sit there and think about a bad show that I did, because I got another one of these to do tomorrow. So I will be back tomorrow, folks. So this is going to go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure, of course, to go to the website if you get an opportunity. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, like the videos, even the crappy ones, like them, because you know what? I come here every day, guys, Monday through Sunday. I'm here every day like the sun comes up in the morning, like your mail is delivered, like you get a fresh cup of coffee. I am here every day, and I'm going to keep banging away. Some days maybe not as good as others, but we're going to keep working at it. And so I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully 11 a.m. Hopefully I will be a little bit more on schedule. I need to be a little bit better about that. And I'll see you guys then. Take it easy. Have a good one. Later.